Okay, so today I will be teaching you how to clean a carburetor for a dirt bike, four-wheeler, or basically anything with a carburetor. So the reason why I'm doing this is it helps the performance of the bike. It helps it not bog down or have any sort of troubles around that matter in the health of the bike, to make sure it's running at its peak performance. So the first thing, I'll just explain a couple of what these lines are and what these holes do. So this first black line here, that's an intake line. This is the overflow line. So any extra gas, if it's getting too much, it drips out of this one here. This one here is also an overflow for the bowl, which that is this component right here. And I guess let's start explaining this. So this side, this big hole here, this is where it connects right to the boot of the dirt bike. This connects it right to the head, and this is where it shoots the gas in. And on this side, this is where it filters in the air. And the top here, this is where the needle goes, which the needle is a little spring-loaded piston, I guess to say, about this tall. And if you can see down there, there's a little hole in the middle, and the needle sits in there, and every time you give it gas, it shoots a certain amount of gas into those ports. So let's start diving into the bottom. I'm just unscrewing the bolts for the bottom here. There's 4 Phillips headed screwdriver bolts, and they're roughly a medium size, so they're very simple and easy and fast to take out. Sometimes they are kind of seized on there and you do need to give it a little bit more force, but I usually take my carb off once to twice a year, so it usually stays in pretty good condition. Okay, so now I have the bolts off. I just pull it apart, and a little bit of gas might come out, but I think, yes, we are good. So I'll set this aside now, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So this here, it's called the float. What the float does is it tells your carburetor when to push extra needed gas out, and that's what this line here is for. And right here is the main jet. I'll take that out for you and give you a better look at what it does and what its purpose is. So now this is the main jet. You should be able to see right through it, and there's holes that go around. What this does is it sprays constant fuel all around, just to maintain, I guess, a good ratio. And that's where the needle goes through from the top. It comes out through here and through this. And then on the bottom here, we have our bowl. This is where all the dirt and grime sits. So it's easy access, I guess, to see what is all in there. It gives you a little preview before you dig into the whole thing. And this little, I guess, this brown piece here, it's called a gasket. That helps prevent, I guess, it helps prevent spills and just overflows. And after you clean that, there's So this is the main jet, and this is the little jet. I'm not 100% sure on the exact name of it, but I'll pull that out for you and give you a little look at it. This is what that looks like. There's a little needle. You can see there's a little needle there that regulates the gas. It tells you when to shut it off, tune it down, or other things of the sort. And now, where is it? Here is your idle set screw right there. So that tells you when, so basically if your bike is running too rich, which too rich means too much gas coming into your bike, and that is not a good thing because that can flood your engine, and no one really wants that to happen. But yeah, there's a lot of different components that go into the bike. Like what just fell out when I was looking for was that needle there that holds in the float, and that would be a bad deal if I lost that. And right here is the throttle body. Whenever the needle is set in, whenever you pull it, it pulls a spring-loaded piston in here and forces gas through. It's a very interesting setup, and they have not changed a lot of the design since carburetors really came out. Okay, so in conclusion, to wrap this all up, I have taught you guys how to properly clean a carburetor for a dirt bike, four-wheeler, many different vehicles. And why this might be important is that prices are going up for mechanics, and if you can do this at home, it would save you a lot of money, and it's a very good learning experience for all. And it really is just an all-around tip. If you want to get into dirt bikes or something of the sort, this goes for Rangers and many more, really. It's in vehicles. It's